Hi everyone, welcome to World of Tanks with Stewie. I'm Stewie, and this is the mighty Russian medium tank at Tier 9, the T-54. The T-54, I think I've said this before, is fastly becoming my favourite medium tank in the whole game. But it must be said, I haven't got any Tier 10 medium tanks. Now you just saw XVM's rating this as a 54% chance of victory, but we all know that can be quite unreliable. Well, I've said that in the past, and a lot of people have said that before. At the moment, you can see I've got myself into a position where hopefully I can spot some enemy tanks, and that shot on the Waffenträger was, I think I zoomed in and then I moved as I fired, so I think I just totally missed it. But I'm trying to get into a position where I'm a top tier tank, so I can afford to be a little bit brave, get into a position where I can try and spot some enemies, and I'm looking at the usual spot where the enemy tank destroyers sit, but it looks like they might have moved. I did spot two, and I took a couple of shots. In this replay you'll see that although the gun can do plenty of damage, it can bounce a little bit, so it can be unreliable, but I think a lot of that was my fault as well. So I move over to the east a little bit to try and take some opportunistic shots on these enemy tanks that are vastly outnumbering our guys. I'm tipping that AMX 50-120 has already fired out his shell, that's why he's not even shooting back at me. But I see this IS-3 and think, you beauty, what a great target that would be. Looking at the map, we're still outnumbered where I am, but I'm just using this good gun pressure and a good rate of fire on this tank. It's only a 6.5 second reload on this tank to try and put a little bit of damage into these tanks. Now on my damage counter you can see it's only a couple of minutes into the game and I've already done 1200, make that 1600 damage. So I've decided I'm just going to sit here for a while and just keep putting shots into these enemies. Black Prince is easy money in a tank like the T-54 with the 100mm gun, which does an average of 320 damage per shot, but the penetration is okay at 219 for your normal rounds of ammunition and 330 for your gold. And we're coming up to the bit, this is why I named this the bouncy replay, because that was just a miss, that wasn't a bounce. But I'm looking at that STI, which is probably the best player on the enemy side according to XVM. I think if I can take him out and win this game. We're winning by 2 tanks already. That's one bounce. And this is why sometimes auto aiming isn't the best thing to do. When you're peekabooing, that wasn't a bounce, that was just me shooting the rock like a fool. I've switched to premium ammunition at this stage, thinking we really want to make sure we do some damage. But that's another bounce. He's just fired, so I know I've got plenty of time. Another bounce, that went into his tracks. I think that was 3 bounces. 4 bounces. I've taken the auto aim off. I probably really should zoom in a bit more. He's fired and missed, and there's 5 bounces on that STI. Now bearing in mind the premium ammunition on this tank, from memory it costs 4 or 5,000 credits, so I'm thinking bugger this, I'm not doing anything, I probably need to be closer to him or behind him. So I do finally get a shot at him, but now he's hiding behind a house. Almost shoot him in the bum, it didn't quite work. There's that AMX, and again I'm a little bit too late in the shot. However, we've still done over 2,000 damage, so if we were to die now, you could consider that we've probably had a pretty good game, over 2,500 damage. That Object 416 is not really a threat. I know I can bounce him, but so I decide I'm just going to move this house and hopefully get a shot into this bloke's turret. Beauty, I finally get the kill. We're winning, still winning by 2 tanks, 7-5. I'm looking at the map, we've won in the east, there's no one in the west, but some of our tanks T-54 in particular look like they're in a bit of trouble up at the enemy base. And the T-44 has just been killed. I haven't got a shot on 416, even though he's been spotted. So I come up and help these guys try and take out the campers at the base, which one of them's already done, but I might as well make the most of it. I've had a good game on it, turned into a great game. Nearly done 3,000 damage, which isn't bad. Just a bit late on the Leopard to kill him. I think I shot him and then someone else shot him straight after me and got the kill. But I'm not interested in capping. There's only 2 enemy tanks left, so I'm going to use my speed. This tank's got a top speed of 56 kilometres an hour and 1,650 hit points once it's fully loaded. So you can afford to trade a few shots sometimes. You can afford to, have a bit of fun with it and get stuck right in. So quite aggressively, I'm going to get as close as I can to this E75, who is busy trying to take care of that M103, which is probably the bigger threat to him, but on the run, take 340 out of him on the side. He's just shot at the M103, so I know I've got enough time to reload and get another shot in, like that. And by the time he turns around, I'll be reloaded, so I can shoot him straight from behind and confirm the kill. Now, I'm not sure where the light tank is, but now, he was last spotted north of where I am now, but we can see he's trying to cap, so being probably the quickest tank that's still alive on our side, I'm going to see if I can get there as quick as I can to try and max out my damage for this game. We can see that the cap counters are basically the same, but at this point of the game you don't really care. I crashed into that house. I had it on cruise control while I was typing a reply to the E75, who, like so many people on World of Tanks, like to blame their teammates when they lose. A couple of our tanks are quite happy just to sit on the cap, but I'm more interested in maximising my result, my credits and my win 8 to try and get one more kill. And with only 6 seconds left on our countdown clock, it's our guys I'm racing against to try and get this AMX 1375. So we've already captured it, but when I come round, auto aim and bang, which was a good game. So looking at the post-game stats, you can see I've got a 2nd class mastery badge for that. The Fire for Effect medal, which is one of the new ones, just for doing any kind of damage equal or more than your tank. Looks like a bruiser medal, and also a high caliber for doing so much damage. And you can see I spotted a few tanks. I did a lot of damage to a lot of tanks and ended up with a good experience. 3,422 experience for my daily double. You can't complain about that. You've got to be happy with that. I'm very happy with that game. Looking at the team score, top damage and top experience, 4,344 damage, 1,141 base experience. But over half of our side did over 1,000 damage each, so everyone really worked well together. Everyone played their part and everyone had really good games. The enemy side, there was only 5 or 6 of them that did more than 1,000 damage, so they were never going to win playing like that. My personal score, you can see all those bounces really cost me. 28 shots fired, 21 hits, but only 15 penetrated, which gave me plenty of damage, but it really, you can really see, like, I'd love to have a game where out of the 28 shots fired, 25 penetrated instead of the 15. You would have been looking at 7,000 or 8,000 damage. It would have been an absolute awesome game. I was shot 4 times, only 2 of them penetrated, so you've got to be happy with that, bouncing half the shots fired at you, and that's due to the very strong turret armour in this tank. I mean, the turret has 200 mils of armour at the front, 155 at the sides, and only 60 at the back, but it's really handy for if you're hiding behind a rock or in some undulations in the land, you can bounce plenty of shots. And now here you see the financial impact of all those bounced gold rounds. I think I bounced 5 of them on that STI, and they cost about 4,000 credits each from memory, and that's why, ammunition cost me 63,000 in ammunition resupply, and that's a lot of that Probably over 20,000 of that would have been for the gold rounds that I used. But anyway, it was still a fun game. It's a tank that I love. It was a great result in my opinion. If those shots that I bounced hadn't have been premium rounds, it would have been a totally different story at the end. I generally make a fair bit of money on this tank, and I'm really enjoying the grind. My favourite medium tank by a mile at this stage, but I haven't got any tier 10 mediums, so I haven't got the other Russian medium tier 9 to compare it to. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this replay. I enjoyed making it. I hope you come back next time. Have a good night, and bye for now.